Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're having a good week. You probably recognize where I am. I'm in our preschool room at church, but it's very empty because we can't be meeting here right now, so it's very empty. But it's also empty for a good reason. I have a surprise. While we are gone for a few weeks, I have some volunteers that are going to start decorating the room. In this room, we're going to have little buildings, little town, and so when you come back, it probably won't all be done, but we're going to have a start on it. So come over here and take a peek. They started building the first building today. I'm gonna let you guess what it's gonna be. I'll give you a few options. Is it going to be a post office, a cafe, a little restaurant, or a toy store? Next week, there will be some more of it done, and we're gonna give you the answer for what the first building is in our preschool room. I'm so excited. I think you're gonna love it. All right, let's get to our story. All right, last week, if you remember, the Israelites came to the Jordan River and they collected 12 rocks because God made the river stop flowing and they got to walk across on dry land. And I challenged you to find some rocks and write some memories down and thank God for the things you got to do this week. So I'm gonna share a few of mine with you. This week with my girls, we've been home all week. We went on a bike ride. We drew lots of pictures with sidewalk chalk. We went for a long walk on a bear hunt. I don't know if you've heard about the bear hunt, but we found lots of teddy bears in people's windows. That was kind of fun. We baked some muffins and then we delivered them to some of our family. We got to FaceTime with some family. I was telling God, thank you this week for FaceTime and Marco Polo because we can see some of our friends and family. So those were some of the memories that I had this week, and I wrote them on rocks and told God thank you for the time that we have with our family this week. All right, so now the Israelites made it across the Jordan River. They're ready to go into the promised land, but before they enter Jericho, they need to check out what the people are like because there are already people living there. So they didn't go in yet, but they sent 2 spies to check out the land and the people. There's one. But the spies had to be sneaky, so they had to hide. And in your story today, you're going to hear about a lady who helped protect them and how God protected her. And then Jericho was surrounded by these huge, tall, strong walls. So God gave Joshua and his army men and the people what they needed to do in order for the walls to break down. All right, and before we watch the Bible story video, I want to review the verse and the big picture question with you. If you can say this verse and the answer to the question, I have a prize for you when we get back to church. All right, so the verse is Deuteronomy 31:8. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. It's a really good verse to remember. And then the big picture question is, how can we glorify God? We can glorify God by loving him and obeying him. So this week, let's try to honor God and glorify him by loving him and obeying him. All right, now we're gonna watch the Bible story and I will be praying for you this week. I miss you. I hope you're doing well and I pray that I see you soon. Bye.
Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm Jessie. Megan, check out my new trumpet.
Wow, Jessie.
I can't believe how good I am at it already. I haven't even had a lesson yet.
Wow. Well, guess what? There are trumpets in today's Bible story.
Cool.
Yes. God told his people to march around the city of Jericho and then blow their trumpets. Then God did the most amazing thing. There is so much more to this story. Why don't you take a break from playing your trumpet and let me tell you the story? The Israelites finally got to the promised land of Canaan, but there was one problem. Other people were living there. God's people couldn't just walk in and set up their tents. They had to go to battle against the people, and they had to win. Before God's people went into the land, Joshua sent 2 spies into the city of Jericho. The spies stayed at the house of a woman named Rahab. Rahab lived in Jericho, but she had heard about God and wanted to help his people. She hid the spies on her roof so the king of Jericho could not find them. When it was safe for the spies to leave, Rahab said, "Please be kind to my family because we have been kind to you. When you attack Jericho, please keep us safe." So the spies agreed and they left Jericho. Rahab tied a bright red rope in her window so the Israelites would know where she lived. Jericho had strong walls on every side, and nobody could go in or out. God told Joshua how to win against the people of Jericho. "March around the city one time each day for 6 days," God said. "On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times. The priests should blow the trumpets and all the people should shout. Then the walls of Jericho will fall down." Joshua obeyed God. He commanded the people to carry the Ark of the Covenant and march around the city. The priests blew their trumpets. They marched around the city one time. The Israelites were very quiet, so no one inside the city would know they were there. On the 2nd day, they marched quietly around the city again. They did this every day for 6 days. On the 7th day, the Israelites got up early and marched around the city 7 times. When the priests blew their trumpets, Joshua said, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." So the people shouted, and the wall fell down flat. The Israelites went into the city and captured it. They destroyed everything in the city, but the 2 spies kept Rahab and her family safe. By faith, Rahab believed God would win the battle, and she asked the spies to keep her safe. When the Israelites attacked Jericho, Rahab and her family were safe, and they joined God's people. Jesus has won against sin and death. Everyone who trusts in Jesus is safe and becomes part of God's family forever.